You are at a Super Bowl party. Everyone is crowded around the television, shouting at the screen like the players can hear them. Someone just scored, and half the room erupts in celebration while the other half groans in despair. You are standing there with a beer in your hand, feeling absolutely nothing. Not bored exactly, not superior, just completely detached from whatever is happening on that screen. You look around and wonder if something is broken in you because everyone else seems so invested, so emotional, so alive in this moment. But you feel like you are watching people react to a language you never learned to speak. Here is what nobody tells you. You are not broken. You are just wired differently. And understanding why reveals something fascinating about how human brains choose what matters. Let's start with something most people never think about: the investment required. To follow a sport, you need to memorize rosters, understand complex rules and their nuances, track strategies, follow trades, analyze draft picks, debate coaching decisions, and remember plays from years ago. This is not casual interest. This is a part-time job you do not get paid for. People who do not obsess over sports have done the math. They have looked at the hours required and asked themselves what else they could do with all that. Their brain has already rented out that space. Maybe it is learning an instrument, building a business, reading extensively, or mastering a craft. The stadium is occupied. Unlike sports fans who pour cognitive resources into memorizing other people's achievements, these people are investing in their own. Now let's talk about something deeper. The control problem. Sports fans invest enormous emotional energy into outcomes they have zero ability to influence. Your team is losing. You are stressed. Your heart rate is up. You are pacing. You are yelling at the TV. But nothing you do matters. Not your lucky jersey, not your seating position, not your rituals or superstitions. The outcome was determined before you sat down. You are watching a recording of something that already happened, emotionally reacting as if you have any stake in it. People who do not follow sports have recognized this disconnect. They have realized that pouring emotional energy into things they cannot control is a losing game. When they feel stress or anxiety or investment, they want it directed towards something where their actions actually matter: their own projects, their own relationships, their own growth. This is not about being cold or detached from the world. It is about being selective with where they spend their emotional currency. They would rather be stressed about a presentation they are preparing than a game they are watching, because at least with the presentation, their effort changes the outcome. Here is something else: the borrowed identity crisis. Watch someone describe themselves as a die-hard fan. Listen to the language they use. They say "we" as if they are part of the team. "We won. We are going to the playoffs. We need a better quarterback." They speak as if they are in the locker room, as if they are on the field. But they are not. They are sitting on a couch eating chips. The players do not know they exist. The coaches do not care what they think. The owners would trade the entire roster if it meant more profit. Yet fans have folded this team into their identity. Their mood depends on whether a group of millionaires they will never meet won a game they did not play in. People who do not obsess over sports see this, and something in their brain rejects it. They cannot build their identity on something so detached from their actual life. If they are going to say "we" about something, it will be a project they are actually part of, a band they play in, a company they work for, a community they contribute to, something where the "we" is real, not imagined. Let's talk about Sundays. For millions, Sunday afternoon is sacred. Football starts at 1 p.m. You clear your schedule. For 6 months, Sundays are not yours. They belong to the NFL. And if your team loses, your entire evening is ruined. People who do not follow sports have protected their Sundays. They have kept that time for themselves. Hiking, working on projects, reading, being with family without a game in the background. They have recognized that time is the one resource you cannot get back. Spending 3 to 4 hours every Sunday watching other people play is not how they want to invest it. Now here is where it gets psychologically interesting. The tribal rejection. Humans are wired for tribes. We need to belong to something bigger than ourselves. Sports offers the easiest path to that. Instant community, instant identity, instant connection with strangers. You are wearing the same jersey. You are cheering for the same team. You belong. But people who do not follow sports have looked at this tribal structure and seen its limitations. The community resets every season. Your shared identity is based on geography, not values. The connection with strangers is shallow because it is built on a single shared interest. So they have chosen different tribes, communities based on what they create, not what they consume. Groups built around shared values, not shared colors. Connections formed through actual interaction, not parallel spectatorship. Their need for belonging has not disappeared. They have just found more meaningful ways to satisfy it. Here is something fans do not realize. The opportunity cost. Every hour watching sports is an hour not spent doing something else. For people who do not follow sports, the math does not work. They look at those 3 hours and think about the book they could finish, the project they could advance, the skill they could practice. They are not judging the choice to watch. They are just making a different one, because they have realized attention is the most valuable thing they own. Let's talk about the elephant in the room. Social pressure. Sports are the default bonding mechanism in most cultures. It's how men connect. It's what you talk about at work. It's the safe topic at parties. When you don't follow sports, you're missing the social script everyone else is reading from. Someone asks if you saw the game. You say, no. There's a pause, an awkwardness. You've broken the flow. You're outside the circle. This happens constantly, at the office, at family gatherings, at the gym, everywhere. People who don't follow sports have learned to navigate this. Some fake a little basic knowledge to avoid the awkwardness. Some deflect by asking questions. Some own it and accept being the outsider. But here is what they've discovered. The relationships that survive without sports talk are usually stronger. When you can't hide behind game analysis and player stats, you have to find something real to talk about. You have to learn about the person, not just their team loyalty. The conversations go deeper faster because there's no surface-level script to fall back on. And the people worth knowing don't care that you can't talk about last night's game. Here is the final piece. The productive escape. Sports fans will tell you that games are a way to turn off their brain and not think about work, problems, or stress. And they are right. For 3 hours, nothing else exists, just the game. But people who do not follow sports have found their own escapes, and here is the difference. Their escapes produce something. The musician escapes into practice and comes out with improved skill. The woodworker escapes into the workshop and comes out with a finished table. The writer escapes into their manuscript and comes out with pages written. Their escape from daily stress is not passive consumption, it is active creation. When they emerge from that state, they do not just feel relaxed, they feel accomplished. Something exists now that did not exist before. They have moved forward, not just sideways. So what does all this mean? People who don't obsess over sports aren't missing out. They're not defective. They're not antisocial. They've just optimized for a different outcome. They've chosen to invest their mental energy in things they can control rather than things they can't. They've built their identity around what they do rather than what they watch. They've protected their time from being colonized by other people's games. They've found tribes based on deeper connections than shared team loyalty. They've chosen escapes that leave them with something tangible rather than just memories of someone else's achievement. They're not judging people who love sports. Most of them understand the appeal completely. They see the community. They recognize the tradition. They appreciate the athleticism. They just know it's not for them. And they've made peace with being the person standing at the Super Bowl party, feeling nothing, while everyone else loses their minds. Because their mind is elsewhere. Probably thinking about their own game. The one they're playing. The one where their actions actually matter. The one where they're not watching someone else win. They're building their own victory. And that's a game worth playing.